Welcome back to another rebuild here on NBA 2K23 Next Gen. In today's video, we are going to be doing an off-season rebuild with the Chicago Bulls. With the recent news that they gave Nikola Vucevic a 3-year, $60 million extension, it looks like the Bulls are not going to be going into rebuild mode. In all likelihood, will not be trading Zach LaVine, and they're still going to try to win with this core, which I consider a completely idiotic and completely incompetent move in their front office. I think it's completely stupid, and it's the direction they're going. So we're going to try to change that today because I feel bad for you, Bulls fans. We're going to try to get you guys a championship today. Last offseason, the Bulls signed Zach LaVine to a 5-year, $215 million deal. Now, I didn't think that was necessarily the smartest move at the time, because when you look at the way that this Bulls team is built and this core in general, with LaVine, with DeRozan, with Vucevic, Lonzo Ball's obviously here as well. This is not a team that is going to be competing for championships. I think we all know that, especially with Lonzo Ball's injury and looking completely likely that he will not be back this season. I thought, and still do think, that the Bulls should be blowing it up. They should be trading their very good players for some assets, and they should go ahead and they should tank for a couple years. They're not going to go down that path. They're going to try to win. They're going to try to be in the play-in mix here in the Eastern Conference, and I don't think it's a smart idea. I think the absolute worst place you can be in the NBA is dead in the middle, kind of like the Chicago Bulls are, kind of like the Wizards were until they committed to that rebuild. And honestly, you either have to be really good or you have to be really bad. I don't think any other direction makes sense. It appears that the Bulls are fine with being in the middle as long as they're making money as a franchise. So I really do feel bad for Bulls fans today, man, but when I saw that Vucevic got that 3-year, $60 million extension, which I will say is not even like a terrible contract for him. I mean, he's basically an automatic double-double every night, but I will say I just don't think the timing on it is right. So we're going to do some things today. We're going to go ahead, probably blow up this core pretty well. We're going to go ahead and obviously try to rebuild, get this team another ring. So I know nobody specifically requested a Bulls rebuild. I'm just doing it because I wanted to. And yeah, if you don't want to see this, I do apologize. But as always, let me know any other video ideas you guys do have down below in the comments section. I know some of you said that you want me to redo some of the prospect rebuilds that I already did, even though we kind of got the order and the teams right and everything. So along with that, let me know any other video ideas down below in the comment section. But I do apologize. I know this intro's been long enough. Let's get into it. All right, so we're officially here in off-season number 1. Obviously, the Nikola Vucevic extension hasn't actually been put into place yet, but I'm going to go ahead and make sure he gets exactly what the Bulls signed him to at that 3-year, $60 million contract. So I want to open this by saying this is not a realistic rebuild. It is not supposed to be a realistic rebuild, and I'm not going to try to make it a realistic rebuild because I'm going to trade somebody for some trade that'll come up, and it's going to look completely stupid and completely unrealistic. And to this day, I will still get comments saying, what the fuck is this? So let's just get into it. So here we're offering him, or what it says in the game anyways, is fair value. About 3 years, about 23.5-ish million bucks a year. We're just going to offer it to him. I will go ahead and edit it after this, make sure it is 100% accurate. That I can promise you. So in terms of our other free agents, Kobe White is here. Javonte Green is here. I think it makes the most sense to bring these guys back. We'll have all of our assets, and then we'll start moving around some players. We can go ahead and hopefully tank for at least one season because I think it's definitely needed. So obviously we're going to go ahead and we are going to re-sign Nikola Vucevic on that deal. Drummond's probably gone. I would like to bring back Ayo. That's just how I feel. I would assume Beverly probably going to be gone. Javonte Green, we're probably going to bring back for now. Definitely could be a trade piece, so we will see. But I'm going to renounce everybody else. Ooh, Terry Taylor's here. Only 23 years old. Maybe, I will see. I don't know if he's qualified or not. But I definitely want to get Ayo back. I don't know if he's qualified or not. Probably not. He was a second-round pick, right? But I just want to see if he's here, if it's possible for the game to allow me to bring him back. Because I do think the potential's there, especially in the game. It's going to let me bring him back. So I'll give him a 3-year deal, about $5 million per season. I think that definitely has the potential to be pretty good. So he's going to be coming back. We're going to be renouncing Drummond. Ayo's good. And I'd like to get Kobe White back as well, so we're not going to renounce him there. So let's go ahead. As I mentioned, we're just trying to recuperate all these players. Some of, if not the majority of them, are going to be traded. Oh, shit. Ayo is definitely qualified. That's why. Okay. I'll just match it, whatever. All right, so we are officially here with this roster right now. Obviously, Lonzo Ball's injured, in all likelihood will not be strapping up this upcoming season. It sucks to see. I love watching Lonzo Ball. I feel like he was kind of just getting his shit together in the NBA, and then he gets injured, and in all likelihood not going to be back for this next season. So, obviously, we don't play with injuries on here, so I don't know what I'm going to do with him. If the right trade comes along, I'll make it. If not, we'll go from there. I tried to give Io a 3-year deal. It ended up qualifying him because, one, I forgot, and two, this game's stupid. Shooting guard spot, Caruso doesn't make much sense timeline-wise. Kobe White's not bad. I don't know. He's a 7th overall pick, and I think it's crazy to say, but, I don't think this kind of year is ever coming back, especially with the minutes that he has on this roster right now. Levine will be traded. I'm just going to say it. I'm sorry. I'm just going to put it out there into the world. It's probably time to go out and make a Zach LaVine trade. Dalen Terry is here, and then Julian Phillips, who they drafted in the 2nd round this year. I think they made a trade with the Wizards for the 35th overall pick. Out of Tennessee, it is time to move on from DeMar. Patrick Williams will in all likelihood be staying. Javonte Green we re-signed. And then I don't know if I can edit the Vucevic contract right now. I cannot, so I'll do it at the start of next year. But let's get into some trades. I have no idea why this game thinks this is any sort of fair trade, but we're going to be sending Zach LaVine in his giant-ass contract over to Detroit for Jaden Ivey, who's 21 years old, still on a rookie scale contract, and progresses very, very well. So I'm super excited to have Jaden Ivey here, and more importantly, I don't have to include a pick or any other assets. So that's trade 1 in the books. We have our new shooting guard. And we're going to go ahead and we're going to finalize our backcourt, making this trade here with the Cleveland Cavaliers, sending DeMar DeRozan and Io over to Cleveland for Darius Garland and a first-round pick. I have no idea how we get the first-round pick in this trade, but we get a 23-year-old Darius Garland, who 2K is a very, very big fan of, as I'm sure many of you know. So welcome to the team, Darius. We're very excited to have you in our backcourt playing next to Jaden Ivey. So we have our 1, we have our 2 figured out for the entirety of this video. All likelihood, it means that Lonzo Ball will be traded now, but honestly, if Lonzo comes back and the Bulls are still kind of doing this thing where they're trying to win, I don't necessarily think it's the worst thing in the world for them to maybe move him, try to get him another fresh start. I know he's had a few at this point, but I just don't think it's going to work out too much longer. So we're not done making trades. I don't know what I'm going to do with Vucevic. I might just trade him immediately. I know, again, it's not realistic, but I'm not trying to be realistic today. So let's keep going. I don't know if the Cavs are sleeping or what they're really trying to do right now, but they're making some pretty stupid trades, and obviously they're going to make our second one with us today because they're going to allow me to have Jared Allen, who's on a beautiful 3-year, $60 million deal. Actually would be the same as Nikola Vucevic, but obviously we're not able to edit his deal yet, but you know what I mean. And we're going to pick up the 25-year-old stud. I'm very excited to have him here. I think it's a really good trade for us. We get younger, we get better, so that means we have our point guard, our shooting guard, and our center figured out. In all likelihood, Patrick Williams will start at the 4 for us as well. So probably a couple more trades. Let's keep going. Our final deal is going to be coming here with the Denver Nuggets. We're going to be sending Lonzo Ball, and I don't know if that's our own first-round pick, but it's going to Denver for Michael Porter Jr. and Christian Brown. This is our first-round pick. I'd like to not give up our first-round pick next year. I really do think there's a strong possibility that we're actually, you know what, fuck it. We're going to be good. We're going to be good. What the hell? Seriously? Oh my God. This game makes no fucking sense sometimes, dude. I swear to God. Where is the deal? Thank you very much. So I honestly think with the additions that we made, I know I said we wanted to suck and I thought we were going to suck for a year, but this team's probably not going to suck. I think we're actually going to be good next year. So we'll give up our first-round pick and Lonzo Ball. We get MPJ and Christian Brown. Feels like a win to me. Welcome to the team. So starting 5 is complete. Obviously, Garland and Ivy going to be here in the backcourt. MPJ is going to be starting at the 3. We have Patty Williams, who, again, is only still 21 years old, so the potential is definitely still there. Starting at the 4, and then Jared Allen will be our starting center. So we do need to clean up the backup small forward spot a little bit. I don't mind getting Dalen Terry some minutes, and I am a Christian Brown fan. I think he played very, very well in the playoffs. So maybe move him to the backup shooting guard, but I did just re-sign Kobe White. So I am a Christian Brown fan. I think he played really, really well, and I think that overall should almost be a little bit higher. Dalen Terry is 6'7". I mean, is there an argument to move him to the backup 4? What happens to his overall if you do that? Actually stays relatively similar. Yeah, screw it. Let's move Dalen Terry, the backup power forward spot. Again, maybe not the greatest bench in the world we're going to have next year, but I think we're on a pretty good pace right now. So we do need to find ourselves a backup point guard. I think Caruso is just going to regress. I know that for a fact, as sad as it is. I love Alex Caruso. I just know that overall is going to go down. I'd rather kind of go ahead and, whoa, interesting. I don't really need Mitchell Robinson, but I'm surprised that was all it really kind of took to get him. I'm looking for a center or a point guard. I'm not giving up a first-round pick for Kevon Looney or Daniel Gafford. So, yeah, I'm just going to do this with Charlotte. Honestly, getting 2 first-round, or, well, really 1 first-round pick, but then we're swapping another pick. But you know what I'm saying. For Caruso, kind of feels like a W to me. So, in terms of the backup point guard spot, I'll take a flyer on Jalen Noel, still only 24 years old. Potential's definitely still there a bit. And then we're going to go ahead and sign a new backup center as well. And our options for that are not tremendous by any means. So anybody else here that I could maybe trade? I mean, Chetty Osman might have a bit of trade value if I include him in a deal. You know what I'll probably do? I'm going to throw Chetty Osman in a deal, and honestly, I don't want to trade our second-round pick, Julian Phillips. I think there's a bit of potential, but with the way this roster is constructed, he's probably not going to crack the rotation. So if I can get a backup center, I'm obviously going to do it. Well, it's a first-round pick and a backup center, Bruno Fernando. I mean, it's not a great option, but it is an option. I see Rashawn Holmes here as well, but I'll take the first-round pick definitely. So you know what? Screw it. Let's make this trade here with Atlanta. Chetty Osman, Julian Phillips going over there. We actually get Atlanta's unprotected first this year, along with Bruno Fernando, who will be our new backup center. So we have our 10-man rotation completely figured out. Honestly, it's looking a lot better. Oh, I don't need Dean Wade. Dean Wade can get moved. Anybody else want to give me a first-round pick? This honestly went a lot better than I thought it would, and I'm very happy with the way this team's constructed. See you guys at the start of year one. It is now officially the start of year one for us here in Chicago, and honestly, things are looking really good. I mean, just a crazy offseason in terms of completely restructuring this roster, completely changing kind of the direction of this franchise. Well, maybe we didn't completely change the direction, because although we definitely got a lot younger, and I think we definitely got better. As crazy as that might sound, I think we did. So anyways, man, here's how it's going to look. It's Darius Garland, Jaden Ivey, Michael Porter Jr., Patrick Williams, Jared Allen. Bench unit's okay. It's not great. It's a very young bench. Kobe White, Jalen Noel, Bruno Fernando, Christian Brown, and Dalen Terry. So I think this team can definitely be a top 4 seed in the East. I mean, time will tell, obviously, but I think the talent's there. I'll see you guys at the end of year one. We wrap up year one with a record of 49-33. I think that is good. Although we're somewhat middle of the pack, maybe a little bit ahead of that middle kind of play-in threshold, I think the direction we've kind of taken is good. I know I've said direction a lot in this video, but in terms of us now having a younger roster with a lot more potential than what we previously had. So I'm fine with this record into year one. I think we can still make some noise in the playoffs. Luka Doncic is your MVP. Victor Wembanyama, Rookie of the Year. Jamal, what the? Oh, did I trade Lonzo there? I did, but starting Lonzo Ball over Jamal feels like a war crime right now. Victor Wembanyama wins a DPOY in his rookie season. Jesus Christ. Isaiah Jackson, Most Improved. Quinn Snyder, Coach of the Year. You see that one quite a bit. So, full look at the standings. We actually finished as the 3 seed with 49 wins. So, honestly, I'll take that. I said top 4 seed, and we're obviously in that threshold. Just maybe a few less wins than we were initially anticipating. So, tremendous year out of Darius Garland. Jaden Ivey was super solid as well. MPJ, Jared Allen, Kobe White, Noel. Patrick Williams is obviously not in the starting lineup to necessarily score the basketball a ton. That's not really his strong suit. And that's honestly fine by me. There's a lot of guys in the starting 5 that can score. So, we have the Brooklyn Nets here in round 1. Dinwiddie, Mikal Bridges, Cam Johnson, DFS, Nick Claxton. Actually made a trade for Mitchell Robinson. Interesting when you already have Nick Claxton. Also, I almost did trade for Mikal Bridges. He was an option in the trade finder instead of Darius Garland. I decided to go with Garland. I think it kind of fits our roster a little bit better, but would have been fun adding Mikal to this team. All right, so we are currently up 3-1 against Brooklyn. They make it 3-2. We're going to Game 7, and we do end up winning in 7. And wow, the 7-seed play-in Pistons upset the 2-seeded Celtics. All right, it's an easier matchup for us. Cunningham, Thompson are... Oh, shit, I forgot I traded Zach LaVine here. This could be a revenge series for Zach LaVine. Let's see what ends up happening. We are currently down 2-1. We go 2-2. We go up 3-2. And we're going to Game 7 again. And wow, we are in the Eastern Conference Finals in year 1, taking on 2K's baby here in the Atlanta Hawks. Not my favorite team to face whatsoever, just because of how much 2K loves them. Not necessarily how much talent they have, but 2K has a man crush on them. We are currently down 2-1. We go 2-2 again. We're down 3-2. Going to Game 7 for the 3rd straight series. And we are in the NBA Finals in year 1. And we're going to be taking on Zion Williamson and the New Orleans Pelicans. 3 straight 7-game series. If I was a fan of this team, I don't know if I could take that, to be honest with you. Here's a look at the Pelicans. You got CJ McCollum, Herb Jones, Brandon Ingram, Zion, Jonas Valanciunas. I mean, 49 wins in the finals. We are currently up 2-1. We make it 3-1. And are we going to win a championship in year 1? That would be absolutely insane. I would like to get it done. I think it obviously alleviates a lot of that pressure, but let's see. Can we not choke on our home floor? I guess we're going to choke on our home floor. Yeah, we lost. All right, so going back to New Orleans for Game 6, obviously a little less than ideal. You'd rather close them out in 5 on your home floor, but I have all the confidence in the world this team can get this done. So looks like we are going to be winning here in New Orleans. You never know if we'll be back, so we'll get a couple shots up, but what a turnaround. We're up 21 points here against the New Orleans Pelicans on their home floor. We are obviously looking to end this series right now, and it looks like, unless I have a monumental collapse, that we are going to be doing just that. Darius Garland cannot get the layup to go, but honestly, it doesn't matter. So I'll touch on it a little bit more just because, again, I know I've kind of talked about this already quite a bit. I had a long-ass intro today, but the Bulls need to take a direction. I'm sorry. They're good players, but DeMar DeRozan, Zach LaVine, and Nikola Vucevic are not a direction. That is mediocrity at best. I mean, that is not... Look at the teams in the Eastern Conference. You have the Bucks with Giannis. You have the Celtics with Tatum. You have the Heat with Jimmy. I mean, even if you want to throw Embiid and the Sixers even in there, because, I mean, I know they can't get out of the second round, but still, they're better than you, 100% better than you. I think the Cavs are better than you. I think the New York Knicks are better than you. You can probably make an argument for the Brooklyn Nets. I mean, these are teams that are far and away not only better than you, but the future is also brighter on literally all of those teams. I don't really know what else to say besides the fact that unless you actually are legitimately trying to do nothing but make money and you have no interest in winning a championship, what are you doing? Because this is not a good direction to take. This is a horrible path that is going to end up very, very poorly. And I also wouldn't necessarily rule out the fact that the Chicago Bulls re-signed Nikola Vucevic, maybe strictly for the fact that they don't have their first-round pick this year, or rather didn't have their first-round pick this year, because it conveyed to the Orlando Magic going back to the Nikola Vucevic trade. I wouldn't have completely put that out of the question. So I'm just saying, man, obviously you have to make some tough decisions, and you're going to suck for a while, and I know that hurts jersey sales and ticket sales and merchandise sales and everything and all of the above, but look at some of these teams that have done stuff like this. You look at the Houston Rockets. They moved on from James Harden. The Detroit Pistons, who have just kind of sucked for a while. But honestly, these teams, they embraced the tank. They've sucked, and now they have some of the best young cores in the league. Look at the Oklahoma City Thunder. I mean, there are just countless examples of teams that now have a brilliant young core and are not actually going to go ahead and necessarily try to win every year, because obviously that's the goal. Everybody's competing for the Larry O'Brien trophy. But there's look in the mirror. You have to accept the fact that the Chicago Bulls are not a good enough team. They're just not. And I'm sorry for me just rambling on and on about them, but I think it needs to be said. And Bulls fans, I'm sure a lot of you agree with me, but this is a tough way to kind of run a team. It is not a way that I would run a team ever, and probably get in trouble because, honestly, at the end of the day, I don't think owners care necessarily much about winning championships when they're making money. I don't think it matters nearly as much. So that's just my take. Again, obviously, this is a lot easier said than done in making these big moves but if you can get first-round picks for Zach LaVine and DeMar DeRozan and even hypothetically Vucevic, maybe at the trade deadline this year, you do it. I mean, you 100% do that. You do it 10 times out of 10. So just my take. I'm not going to sit through the finals ceremony, so I'll see you guys at the finals MVP. We end up winning in year one, and we won in 6. And honestly, that feels pretty good. I mean, maybe a bit of a surprise that we got it done so easily, but I mean, I don't want to say easy. We obviously completely just flipped this roster upside down. We completely blew it up, and honestly, it looked like it had to happen. So it is time for the lottery. I think I saw a Bulls logo in there. That Portland pick's unprotected, so we're going to have that no matter what. And it actually ends up being at number 9. The Thunder have number 1, number 3, and I thought they had one more in there. Oh, they also have 10. Good fucking God. All right, staff signing time. Billy Donovan was our head coach. I'm just going to bring in Stauffer. I mean, it is weird to not bring back another head coach after you win a championship, or rather bring in another head coach after you win a championship, but 1, I don't think Billy Donovan's a great coach, and 2, I think Mike Stauffer is. So, all right, up to the draft. Obviously, the 9th overall selection is great. I think there are a couple options about what we can do with that pick. We also had the Atlanta Hawks first-round selection this year. If I'm thinking upgrades or a better backup somewhere, I think obviously the backup center spot, maybe get a replacement for Bruno Fernando definitely could be an option. Maybe one of Dalen Terry or Christian Brown, just because I think, again, having a guy who has a little bit more upside than these two might not be the worst idea in the world. So I can't move any of them right now. I'm very comfortable with Jalen Noel. I think him and Kobe White did a fantastic job as our 2 guards off the bench. So let's see if it's possible. If I go ahead, if I do these 2, can I move up at all? I mean, unless somebody's going to offer me a trade to strictly just move up. I'm actually getting offered some pretty decent centers here. I'm a big Naz Reid fan. You know what? I might just make that trade. I really might. You know what? Let's just solidify the backup center spot 100%. we're not going to draft anybody, but we're getting a really good backup center in Naz Reid. Ivy, Fernando, Terry, and Brown all going to be all going to be coming back. Patrick Williams is going to get qualified. Anthony Lamb, probably not. All right, it's free agency. This is not going to be a team with money, but it is pretty much an already solidified core. There's really nothing to change about this team, so I'm just going to let everybody else go. And then I'm going to give Patrick Williams a contract if and when that time does come. So, yeah, we're not going to be spending a ton of money. Patrick Williams, I'll give him about $15 million a year. And I'm only giving him more than what he's actually asking for because I think eventually if we do want to make a trade, if, he doesn't progress well or we think there's a better fit or whatever the situation may be, that $15 million should be easier to match up with some bigger contracts. So at this point in time, I'm going to trade Bruno Fernando. Might include him in a trade with either Christian Brown or Dalen Terry. See if we can just find a little bit of a better upgrade. And no, actually, if it ain't that broke, don't fix it. So Bruno Fernando, first round pick, preferably from somebody. Thank you very much, Utah. That's actually a Cleveland pick. I'll see you guys at the start of year number 2. Fresh off a championship, we make no major changes to this team. The one new addition would be Naz Reid as our new backup center. And, yeah, man, progression's still looking really, really good, and everything is honestly looking great. So here's how it's going to look. It's Darius Garland, Jaden Ivey, Michael Porter Jr., Patrick Williams, and Jared Allen. Absolutely no changes in the starting 5. Bench unit, Kobe White, Naz Reid, Jalen Noel, Dalen Terry, and Christian Brown. So things are looking good. I think this team definitely repeat and maybe get over 50 wins this time. We'll see you guys at the end of year number 2. Year 2 ends. We win 4 more regular season games than we did last year. We go 53-29, and honestly, it's fine. We won 49 games and won a championship last year. I don't really care how many regular season games we win, as long as we're in the playoffs. Luka's your MVP. DJ Wagner, Rookie of the Year, 22 points a game for the 4th overall pick. Very impressive. Damian Lillard, 6th Man of the Year. Good God. Victor Wembanyama, that's a 2nd straight DPOY in his 2nd season in the league. Good God, again. Taylor Hendricks, Most Improved. Billy Donovan, Coach of the Year, our old friend. No longer our head coach, though. So let's take a full look at the standings right now. We actually finished as the 2 seed here. Is Billy Donovan the new head coach of the Charlotte Hornets? Maybe it's the Rocket. I have no idea. All right, here's a full look at the numbers right now. See who did what. Darius Garland, Jaden Ivey are 2 20-plus point per game guys. Jared Allen, MPJ, White, Reed, Williams, Noel, Terry Brown down there. Rebounds was Allen, and assists was Mr. Darius Garland. So, round 1. Who's it going to be? It's going to be, oh, fucking Christ. Yeah, who plays Grant Williams at center? Oh, my God. Yeah, I think they've lost a lot of guys, but they still annoy me. Okay, come on. Okay, thank you. Orlando here in the 2nd round. Another great young core. And how is Anthony Edwards here? You have the number 1 overall pick from the 2020 draft, the number 1 overall pick from the 2022 draft. Good God, what is he even putting up? 21.5? How did he get here? How did he get here? What's Anthony Black doing? 6.5? Jesus. What was pick with Franz? He was number 8 overall. And then Banchero, 24 points a game. God, that's annoying. How did Anthony Edwards really never stays with the Timberwolves in these rebuilds? But when I've offered him contracts in the past, okay, fucking hell. When I've offered him contracts in the past, it gets matched. But when other teams do it, it doesn't get matched. I don't know. Oklahoma City Thunder go on to win it all, and Shai Gilgeous-Alexander is your finals MVP. So, final offseason. Obviously, we're hoping to win another championship in this video. Again, I think we have the talent to do so. That Cleveland pick, I believe, is unprotected. Maybe we'll jump up a few. We actually go down 1. Awesome. All right, staff signing right now. Mike Stauffer is obviously fine. We're not going to move him. I do think it might be time to maybe go ahead and make a trade that involves Patrick Williams. I'm not saying he's the problem or necessarily the reason we didn't win it all, but I do think there's an argument that an upgrade definitely could significantly help this team. So definitely on the horizon. Let's see if we can find something. We're going to try to add Pascal Siakam to this team. If we're going to go ahead and make this trade, we are going to lose our 6th man in Kobe White. And while that definitely does hurt, I think the upgrade would be worth it. So we're going to see if Toronto's in the mood to do this. Obviously, if this was year 1, I'd be a little bit more hesitant just because I don't know how well he'd match the timeline. If you want number 8 as well, go ahead and take it. It's fine by me. So we get a significant upgrade at our power forward spot in Pascal Siakam. We are going to go ahead and have to replace our 6th man because Kobe White was important to this team, whether you want to believe it or not. So thank you very much, Orlando, for the draft pick. Let's hit team player options. So Ivy, Terry, and Brown all going to be coming back. Qualifying Tyler Cook, Keelan Martin, probably not. We take a look at free agency right now. Do we have any major free agents? Does not look like we do. I just want to confirm everybody's here. Jalen Noel is a free agent. That's definitely something we're going to have to worry about. And then we're good with backups everywhere else. So Jalen Noel is here. Malachi Branham is here. This would definitely intrigue me. Let's go ahead and sign Malachi Branham. I'm surprised that it looked like, I think with those contracts, it means that they got released. And it's still going to let me bring back Jalen Noel. I mean, just absolutely beautiful. What an offseason. I'm very, very excited. All right, I'll see you guys at the start of the third and final year. It's the final season for us here in Chicago. We came up a little bit too short last year, which resulted in us making a really big trade and acquiring Pascal Siakam. I cannot fucking speak today. He replaces Patrick Williams as our starting power forward. I do feel bad trading Patty Williams. I think there's definitely a lot of potential still there for him. And obviously he has helped us win a championship as a starting power forward. But I want to solidify this core. And I think in a final year of a 3-year rebuild, it's well worth it. So it's going to be Darius Garland, Jaden Ivey, Michael Porter Jr., Pascal Siakam, Jarrett Allen. Bench unit's going to be Malachi Branham, Naz Reid, Christian Brown, Dalen Terry, and Jalen Noel, who, in all honesty, I actually thought there was a strong case he'd be like our 7th man. He's actually now the lowest overall on this team, so he'll be the 10th and final guy. But I like this team a lot. I'll see you guys at the end of the 3rd year. We go 64-18 in our final year here in Chicago. It looks like our major trade paid dividends, and honestly, I'm loving it. It's a 3rd straight MVP for Luka Bagayoko, Rookie of the Year in Atlanta. How did they have the 6th overall pick? Jalen Suggs, 6th man. Victor Wembanyama, Jesus Christ. Ian Jackson, most improved. Mike Stauffer wins Coach of the Year for us. So let's just get through the playoffs. I think we have all the talent in the world, far and away the best record. Let's just go out and win the damn thing. I mean, I don't want to add in any unnecessary stress, but if this team doesn't win it all, I mean, I don't really know what else we can do. Washington, Poole, Bain. Wow, interesting new additions they've made there in D.C. Thanks for coming, though. Orlando here in round 2, the team that knocked us out of the playoffs last year. Obviously, an incredible young core they have there. Going to be a dogfight no matter what. We're up 3-1. We go 3-2. We win in 6, and we're in the East Finals. What the fuck? Oh, come on. Come on, 2K. I was like, okay, I get the Hornets have like something cooking, but like Giannis, really? Okay, we win in 5. All right, and the defending champs here in the Oklahoma City Thunder, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. So this is obviously an incredibly talented team. I think we definitely are good enough to win it all, though. We're up 2-1. We go up 3-1. We close them out in 5. Darius Garland gets his 2nd Finals MVP of this video, and we get our 2nd championship. So what a way to close it out. I know this has been a long video for 3 seasons already, or at least I've been recording for a while. Who knows what it'll look like when I've edited it. But, yeah, man, we completely flipped this Bulls roster upside down. I think it needs to happen. I think it makes no sense, as I've said multiple times, for them to continue on the track that they are on. It's just a horrible direction to be going in. Aging stars, making tons of money, and no hopes of a championship. So I really do feel bad for you, Bulls fans. I hope some new direction or something major, some shakeup happens soon, because you guys definitely need it. So, all right, man, that pretty much wraps this one up. Again, I know nobody asked for a Bulls rebuild, but I wanted to do one. So we'll get back to prospect rebuilds and all that fun stuff very, very shortly. Of course, for NBA free agency opens this Friday at, I think it's 6 p.m. I believe so. Is it 6 p.m. Eastern time? I think it is. So I'll fact check that, but I'm assuming we'll have some signings over the weekend. We'll get back into the swing of things on Monday. So hopefully you guys are looking forward to it. It's one of my favorite times of the year. Feels like a holiday every single time. So as always, thanks so much for watching. I love you guys. I'll catch you guys all in the next one.